Welcome back to the Woman 12 Experience Show for Saturday, December 30th, 2023. This, like I said, it's our last show of the year, calendar year. We're sorry for the delay. We are live here on our Facebook page, Woman 12 Facebook page, and our YouTube page live right now on YouTube as well. So our guest today is a sensible young lady who I met a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, saw what she was doing. I felt she would be a great guest for our show today and talk about her journey to where she is now. She is a serial social entrepreneur in Philadelphia with a decade experience in helping underserved communities gain access, receive services, and thrive with her own holistic approach. She wears many hats as a founder and CEO of a youth-led nonprofit called Stars of Giving, and she is the youngest political strategist and consultant, a public health professional, and her most recent role was the president-elect for the Philadelphia NAACP Youth and College Council branch. Her service has no bounds, targeting many pathways of change. So let's welcome our final guest for this year, 2023, Miss Makayla Myers. How are you? I can't hear you.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm feeling great. How are you?
Good yourself? How been your holidays?
Happy holidays.
I'm good.
I'm ready to get to work.
I'm ready to get to work in the new year, honestly.
Wonderful. That's awesome. That's totally awesome. It's very honored to have you on. So let's get right to it. So who is Makayla Myers when she was younger?
Okay.
So
funny story actually. Young Makayla. Of course, I'm still young, but when I was younger, one of my hobbies was modeling. I've always been a creative. I've always been into art. I've always been also into the STEM. I went to the Philadelphia High School for Girls. STEM is what I've always been centered around, but I've always, approached that with a creative mindset. So I honestly think my passion for, giving back to the community and things like that came from my parents who are, like my father's a Mason, my mother, she's in a sorority, Theta Phi Beta Incorporated. So, they kind of ingrained service into me from a young age, coat drives and giving back to the homeless. So I carried that along with me growing up. They say train up a child. So that's exactly what happened. And, here I am now. So.
Wonderful. You say you went to Girls High.
Yes.
What year you graduated Girls High? You might be asking.
I graduated in 2020.
So
that's a two-step for my girls.
At Girls
High.
Everything was there. And that was
time.
So I did not have graduation, but we did have graduation.
Oh wow. Okay. Yes. So I was trying to hear you, but I think it got cut off. So I was trying to see what year it was. But like I said, I had a mentee that went to Girls High, graduated from there in 2017. So went to the whole ceremony. Yeah, I went to the whole ceremony, Kimmel Center, and I noticed that it was probably one of the most best graduations I ever went to because it did so many things differently than normal graduation. So I went there and it was honored that she invited me to be there. So it was like last minute thing because I thought I did like I honored her before she went off to school, and I thought graduation happened already. But my event was 2 days later, and then the blue that Monday she gave me an invite. I was like, I definitely will go. So that's one of once a lifetime event, in terms of being there for her and just seeing her moment and one of the biggest joys of my life is see her, where your mentees that you grow up with, you see them grow and maturate to who they are today, graduate from a school like that. It makes you so proud that you're part of her life and part of that journey. So what made you get into leadership? I see you're a serial entrepreneur. What made you get into that leadership mindset?
Yeah, so like I said,
Yeah,
it's a
so
funny
like I said,
story.
it's a funny story.
I started modeling, I'm gonna say I was 6 years old when I started modeling. I took a break from it. That was just one of my hobbies. And then I started modeling when I was about 14. So I, was kind of coming up in, the fashion scene in Philadelphia. I kind of gained a platform from doing that thing, like certain things, partnering with brands, Philly entrepreneurs and things like that. So I think I've always been like a natural leader. I've always been true to myself. And I kind of was raised like that in my education as well. Being very confident in who I am and things of that sort. But, with public speaking and things like that, I've never really given it a try until I actually attended an event that you were holding. So yes, it's a crazy story. So I believe it was somewhere in West Philly. It was Teenagers in Charge, and you had Malcolm Savage come. Yes, you had Malcolm.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yes.
With I remember. Wait. Was it in that building? Oh, what's her name? Miss Donna.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Years ago.
And then,
Years ago.
right. Malcolm came, and then you had like a guy. Mike came. You know when Mike spoke? Was he there when the Mike spoke at the end?
It was a mic there. It was
It
a
was
mic
a mic
there.
Mike
there. It was
Burrow.
a mic there.
Chantel and her
Chantel
daughter.
and her daughter.
The young
Oh
lady.
yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This was full circle.
This was full circle.
And that's
for
my
me.
I
honest.
know. Me too. I did not know you was there. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah. So we came to model. And we kind of present brand, me and another young lady. But I remember you forced us to get up there in front of everyone and tell them about ourselves. Yes, you forced us to get up there and tell the audience about ourselves and what we were doing and how we got into modeling. And that actually, I believe, is one of the earliest moments I remember of public speaking. And I feel like that moment kind of like drove me. That moment kind of drove me, and I really needed that moment. So I appreciate you, and that space and opportunity, because I was nervous the first time I got up there. I spoke in front of everyone, and I believe you guys recorded it. And yeah, I remember you posting it on Instagram, and I watched back myself, and people was telling me how great I did, and I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I kind of like that. I kind of like sharing my story with other people. So then from that moment, I kind of started practicing that. And, even in school, when they needed someone to present, they needed someone, to read aloud, I volunteered for that. And over the years, I just kind of gained more and more experience. And then now here I am, and I'm talking in front of thousands of people. And it was kind of the same, because if I could model and showcase, clothes to people and put myself on, kind of Front Street, I can easily get in front of people and speak, right? Because I feel like modeling, there's kind of a spotlight on you. You have to, there's a drive for perfection, and no room for mistake. So, I kind of use my grace from modeling and turn that into, what I really want to do, which is change people's lives. So.
I'm completely humble right now. I could imagine that you remember me 5 years ago, that TJ in charge with Judith and Malcolm. And then now look at you now doing great things, and I never know that that was your first speaking engagement, and I just put you out there, like no pressure, like just be yourselves, and I'm truly humbled that came full circle. That now you here, you're like doing assorted things for the city of Philadelphia, and starting a business, and it takes me back, like wow, like you never know who you impacted until 5 years later that I planted that seed in you to speak, and now what you're doing now. So just by chance, so 'cause you never know who's watching, who's seeing you, and what doors opened up for you, from that. So I truly thank you for saying that. That made my day. Gave me joy inside. I got goosebumps right now. That now one of the people that took it down is doing 23 in Philadelphia. So, and I read your bio that you started a youth nonprofit called Stars of Giving. So, what made you start that, and what's the mission behind that?
Yes. So, like I said,
Like,
I've always, given back to my community. Even with my school and youth empowerment programs that I was a part of, that was required in school. At Girls High, we were like, as a grade, we had to do 20 plus hours of service for a grade. And we could not be successful in our particular class if we did not do that service. And I found that a lot of the times, we're kind of forced as students, going to magnet schools to do service. But to me, I didn't feel forced to do it. I love doing it. And I've always went above and beyond to make sure I got those service hours. And of course, there were like people who, kind of just recorded whatever. And I was like, I want to create a space where other young people can come together and do things for the community, and kind of not, get a grade for it. Like, we're not doing it just for a grade. We're doing it because we love to do it. And I was like, I cannot be the only one who feels this way. And there's not a lot of times, especially now in the city of Philadelphia, where young people are kind of recognized for the positive things that they're doing. It's, a lot of crime happening right now and death. And I wanted, especially in 2020, which is when Stars of Giving was officially founded and established. I felt like there was, a lack, and there was a need for community, and creating Stars of Giving, where young people are encouraged to do the things that they love to do. And, they're kind of pushed and mentored by other young people who are doing certain things, being around like-minded individuals. That was really important for me. So that's why I created Stars of Giving. And, we're still going strong. So.
Yeah. So what Stars of Giving do? What is their like platform? What they do? They provide mentoring, or what that does that entail?
Yes, of
yes,
course.
of course. So,
Stars of Giving is
Giving
actually
is actually
a nonprofit. I created it when I was 18 years old. Not even 18 years old. I was 17, turning 18. And I I created it so that, like I said, like we can have a space for other young people. But I feel like a lot of the time, when we, create spaces for young people, they're led by, adults. And I feel like for me, the best practice, and the best way of learning is to jump in and do it yourself. It's trial and error. And I feel like even a lot of times, me being older now, I can learn from the youth, those younger than me. So that's what we do at Stars of Giving. We create platforms for the young people. We do peer mentorship. We do education. We do advocacy. Whatever my young people want to do, that's what we'll do. If we want to, they want to go on a trip, they want to go to Maryland. That's a past, trip that we did, and help build houses. that's what we will do. And we're really focused, on partnering, these future leaders, right? We're focused on partnering these future leaders with up and coming leaders, so that they can kind of get, a feel of what it's like to be in, a particular position, in a particular field, in a particular career, and they can really get their hands-on experience, and they can, contribute to society as successful adults.
Wonderful. That is awesome. That I'm very proud of you for doing that and taking that head on, and then you lead the program, because a lot of times, like you said, a lot of programs or businesses, nonprofits are led by adults, but now you want the youth to take a lead on and make it how they want to make it, and how to make impact them to get them to come back time and time again, and also bring on more youth where they can feel a part of the program, feel included, and feel valued, and feel heard by people like you that are leading the organization, that they can lead them organization for the greater good. And that's totally awesome. That's totally a wonderful thing that's going on, and I'm proud of you for doing that. So I just saw that you are the next president-elect of the Philadelphia Youth and the NAACP College and Youth Council. So that's big for me, because my grandmother, who passed away, was part of NAACP for years. Was the president of the community chapter. She was a very engaged in that, but I started trying to get more involved with that before she passed away. But things happened, But I was trying to get more information about that. So can you tell me how did you get involved with that, and what led you to being elected as president?
Yes.
Yes.
So I got involved with the Philadelphia NAACP within the past year, actually. So it's been a great change in my life. And I feel like in the coming year or two, I feel like I was put in position um, to be ready and be prepared to be in that role. I felt like more recently I've experienced um, in my young adulthood, and with the division in the country, um, I've experienced more civil injustice um, than I ever have, being a young Black young lady. So I noticed that, even when I was going to the stores, I was presenting myself in, the most, righteous way that I could to myself. And being true to myself, there was still a lot of microaggression. There was still a lot of, I want to say prejudice and bias. And, even with all the positive things I'm doing in my life currently, I felt like whenever I was out, I was just being seen for my color. And I realized, especially after 2020, with the George Floyd incident, people are becoming more bold in the way, they kind of treat people of color. And, it really started getting to me. And I realized that, it's always been like this. Um, they're just becoming more, confident in who they are. And I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud from everything that we've been through, and we're continually, conquering, overcoming. So when I found out about the Philadelphia NAACP through the Philadelphia Sheriff, Rochelle Bilal, um, I said, how can I get involved? I asked her because she was a member of the Philadelphia NAACP, and I worked on her campaign in this upcoming primary. Well, not this upcoming, but the past primary election, and in the last general election. And, I like a leader should, I kind of contributed my voice as soon as I jumped in. As soon as I got involved, and I encourage all my young people or anybody, if you see an opportunity that you want, just go out and get it. And that's what I strongly believe. You miss 1,000% the chances that you don't take. So, being elected, it's an honor for me, especially being a newer member. And I'm glad that, my branch was able to see that I could lead them in the most positive way. And I could bring change to Philadelphia and to, our East Coast communities. So.
Congratulations for that. So I know you about say you're president elect, so I think you about to take over like in January. So what are some goals you want to accomplish or lead within your first 100 days or 90 days as the president of the NAACP?
Yes. So one of our biggest things is, outreach. That's always been my biggest thing. And, I feel like to make the biggest impact, we have to come together, especially as people of color. But people don't know the NAACP is not just for Black people. It's for all people, all identities. Whether Black, white, purple, brown, and we're looking for people to join our movement. People who are looking for community and fellowship and that support as young individuals. We're looking for that community. So we are recruiting. We are looking for new members. And, the same way with Stars of Giving, whatever, mission our young people feel like, they want to go after, we will try our best to make it happen. That's just what we do. So membership drive is one of the biggest things that I'll be working on, as soon as I'm inducted as the president. And we are actually working on, supporting the family of Eddie Irizarry, who was murdered here in Philadelphia. And, we've been in contact with his family and just seeing how we can support them because Eddie was a young man, So that's one of our biggest initiatives right now, membership drive. So finding more ways to support Eddie Irizarry and his family. And for those who don't know, he was murdered within the last couple of months. By police. And yes, again, they were, white individuals. But we're just seeing how that plays out right now. And we plan on, kind of seeing how we can not only support his family, but see how we can bridge this gap between, the police and the community, because we don't believe all cops are bad. We just believe that, we do need more training in these spaces. And, we feel as though whether, whatever conclusion they come to, that we can create healing in our communities. So yeah, we're not against police, but we are against, people who do the wrong thing. So that's just, what we're working on right now.
Yeah, so we're not against police. We're just against the things that's going on to police. We need to bridge the gap through conversations, initiatives, to bring our community closer. Like you said, you coming on, also with Sherelle Parker's coming on as mayor of Philadelphia, and she has a huge team, traditional team, to help her get over the next 90 days. And we have to continue the work that we are doing and make sure that everyone feels safe and feels valued, feel heard. About your membership for NAACP, can high school students join, or has it been at 21, or how does that work?
Yes, so the NAACP will say that any member can join relatively Our youth
Our youth
council,
council,
we actually we actually have a branch
have a grant
at high school,
at
the
high
city
school,
school.
the city school.
Um,
Um,
and we're
and
actually start doing this
start
again
doing
right
this again
now.
right
That's a
now.
new
That's a
issue.
new issue.
And these young
And these
people
young
will be
people
kind
will
of
be kind of
shadowing us and learning how to be leaders within their school community, and that's something I'm super excited about. That our current president, Zamir Brunson, put into place. But you know, high school students can absolutely join. We go all the way up to the age of 24. And then once you hit 25, that's when you kind of age out and go to the adult branch. But yes, high schoolers absolutely can join. We're youth in college. So any age really, but our I think our more prominent ages are between, 13 to 24. Yeah, 13 to 24, but we welcome everybody. So if you want to be, the youngest of our branch, then come on along. We'll welcome you with open arms, and we'll create that space for our babies to thrive and learn.
Yeah, I totally understand because I was asked that question because I work in high school right now currently. Um, I would love us, we can partner so we can come to your school and talk about NAACP opportunities for them to join. Some students to join, who are interested in leadership and learn our community as well. And then also outside of that, I still do Path to Greatness and I do workshops in middle schools, high schools too. So I would love for us to talk and see how you can do presentations or come to our school, our schools that we serve at, and talk to students about this opportunity because I think it is something about a young person, they might be more inclined to join and be interested in learning about the organization and get a leadership role because I think that what you're doing is phenomenal. And we didn't have this growing up when high school. Now I want to get that back and just give them things I didn't have so they can be exposed to it. They may not join, but at least they know about it. So these have some of that face to it. Oh, this is what it's about. Okay, I may not be interested now, but I need at least have information about what's going on. But we will definitely talk because I have some stuff coming up that I can feel like yours just can come and bring and talk about your program because we do have. But we'll talk online about that because I'm excited. So because I think our young people need to be exposed to this, especially with history in the NAACP and history behind it and what it took to get to where you are today. I think having a couple of kids that may not know about this join the movement in 2024 will be really fantastic will be fantastic. So,
Yeah.
question, yeah. So, like I said, but what I know you told me what's next for as you being president elect. What's next for you for your nonprofit? What's your plans for 2024 regarding that?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So,
of course, in
first,
these
and these
mini
mini
goals, um,
goals, um,
they're centered
they're
around the
centered
youth.
around the youth.
So every
So every
year, our
year,
biggest
our biggest
thing
thing
is our Warrior Mother Blessed Bag, and that's where we um, give gifts to moms who lost children to gun violence. So when I say mom, I say mother figures, grandmothers, moms, even teachers that was in their students' lives very prominently, and took these students on as their own, because sometimes we all don't have a biological mother that is there from us. We have other mother figures that played a role in our young person's lives. So every year we do our Warrior Mother Blessed Bag. We're actually on our third annual Mother Warrior Blessed Bag, and we're currently collecting donations. The first time I ever did this blessed bag was in May of 2020. That's when our Philadelphia's gun violence rate skyrocketed, and there was a lot of youth deaths. So mid pandemic, we were going out with our PPE, and we we had people nominate, and that's still how it's going to work this year. But I think I want to do something a little different and actually bring these mothers together. But the first year we went out and we had people nominate these mothers, give us their numbers, their names, and of course the name of their loved one. And we did personalized cards for them. We've gave them Visa gift cards. We gave them chocolates, bouquet of flowers, and we went to their house and we surprised them with this gift that they had. Some of them actually had no clue that they were receiving. Some people just knew that, of course, we had to coordinate and let them know we were stopping by. But they just knew that. So we went and we sat down and we talked to them for hours and gave them a chance to, remember their loved ones, because a lot of the time, and this is a reason why I wanted to create this program, is because after the funeral, there is, there's a moment where, your family, your friends, they support you, but right after that, they kind of go back to their own lives and, their own issues. And these mothers, this is something that they had to live with for the rest of their lives. So, on Mother's Day, that could be the hardest time for them because everyone else is receiving gifts and we don't often think about that. So, that was my way of kind of showing them, Stars to Giving, showing them we still care. We see you. And, we are the youth. So what better way to come support you and give you that space on Mother's Day? Because mothers are not only moms to their children, but they're mothers to the community. So we want to uplift them in that way. And, coming, May 2024, we'll be doing the same thing. And, collecting donations all the way until that point, the day of Mother's Day. So that we can, give back to them and just recognize them for the amazing people that they are. So.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that because I would love if you send me information so I can send it out to schools I work with and as a staff, any students that had lost a mom, they get honored for that. So I think that would be a great way that we can partner with you, get you the names that you need for your program, for your event in May, because Mother's Day is a tough day, for a lot of people who do not have moms, and that can be very emotional. So, but we hope that we can help some way put a light on that and make sure that they're not going through this by themselves. It's that it's a suffering that they got to deal with the rest of their life. That we know that they're not alone, and we have people here that's going to support them and make sure that they are able to fully function despite not having their biological mom present. Going forward, that's not a easy thing to deal with and move forward from. That takes time and years and patience, a lot of work, a lot of support. Going forward with that. So let me know what information you need. I can send it out when we go back to schools. Not next week, because I know, but the following week will be a school the second week in January. So just let me know how we can get involved, and then we can get your word out so the parents know already. So from the get go. So.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So much.
Yeah, and
Another thing there,
go back, is that we create this community, so we're not just doing this one time and say, all right, next year we're going to go to the next people. We're building community, and that's just all about outreach. We're connecting with these mothers, and we're initially and essentially connecting them with each other. And, if they need support, we find out, okay, how can, we best support you, whether that is, reaching out to, someone at Mothers Bonded by Grief, which we've had partnered with. And a lot of our mothers do, come from that group. How can we get you those therapy services? If the court date is coming up, do you need us to show up? And just really, be that backbone, and that, I guess, extended family for these moms. So that's also another thing. If you need support, if you need, you know, whether that's emotional or, you know, even if you just want us to sit down and, you know, hear about your child, we're there. So that's really important. I wanted, you know, to mention that because it's not just like we're going to show up and we're going to, you know, hear you out this one day and give you that cookie, give you your flowers, and then, you know, disappear. So, yeah, my mothers, I see them at a lot of events now, and they have become family.
That's totally awesome. Three more questions before we get off the air. So you do a lot of things for a standing young person. What does Makayla do for self care?
Thank you for asking that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, a lot of people don't know how important self care is, especially nowadays. Um, and, you know, that is something I've had to discover and navigate myself, because, you know, people a lot of time ask me, okay, what do you like to do for fun? But this is fun to me. But it is a lot of work, especially with, um, our NAACP civil rights movement, um, being a pillar for the community. It is a lot of pressure, but um, I make sure that I create the space. If I'm working hard, I'm playing just as hard. Because life is short, and you don't want to look back and be like, okay, I'm older now, or not even I'm older. I've been doing a certain thing for XYZ long, and what do I have to show for it? What do I have to show for my life? And I've, as a young person, I've experienced death um, very closely to me. And just being from the city of Philadelphia, you see a lot of things go on as a young person, and I kind of had to think when I'm after I'm going to these funerals and things, and I'm just going through my own grief. I'm like, okay, what do I want them to say about me when I go? Because at some point we all have to go. And I don't want to just say, oh, she worked, she worked, she worked, because that's not something that you know you'll see on an obituary typically. So, even being a young person from Philadelphia, I had to think about that. And I make sure that I'm meditating. I'm a Christian, I pray. So I'm praying, I'm creating that space for myself, being able to advocate for myself and say, okay, I'm really not feeling it today. I just need a break. And allowing myself to do nothing for the day. Because a lot of the days I'm just on the go. I wake up early, I go to bed late, and then I'm doing it over again. So to combat burnout, um, I kind of have to, it might change certain days, but for the most part, I want to make sure that I'm still doing the things that I love, and I'm still creating a space for myself, because I can't help anybody if I don't help myself first. And I think that's an important message for, everyone to kind of, carry with them, because, oftentimes we want to just give, but we have to give to ourselves. So, um, self-care, going to get my nails done, going to get my hair done, and make sure I'm not neglecting myself. Um, or even just reading a book, or, like I said, taking that time to just do nothing. So that's one of my biggest regimens. I will work all weekend, but Sunday is my Sabbath day. I praise the Lord. And then for the rest of the day, I don't want to do anything, because I'm just, getting my mind together. And I also journal. So that's one of my biggest ways to kind of combat burnout. Because also with burnout, um, it's like, if we're doing all this important work, how can, I can't save everybody. I can't save everyone, but I'm going to try my best. I want to. And that's something I had to learn as well. And that's part of self-care, is that, as long as you're impacting one person's life, you're changing one person's life, you're changing one person's perspective, then that, you did your job. And, you're walking your purpose, and you're just being true to yourself. That's important. And that's a very prominent part of self-care that we don't often think about.
Exactly. I agree with you. It's about taking time for yourself and just making sure that you're your best self. Because you can't save everybody, but those kids to shut down, not shut down, but to relax and just be free. Just be free to yourself and just force maybe to take care of yourself. Because you got to replenish, you got to rejuvenate, you got to get rested. Because you're not your best personally, you're not gonna be your best for other people when it's time to serve them and help them in any capacity. So, as the year closes, I want you to give me one word that encapsulates you this year. One word, and one word that you're gonna leave in 2023 and not bring in 2024.
That's a good question. Um, so just to clarify, I'm going to give you a word that uh, kind of represents what I'm leaving in, this present year, um, and that I don't want to bring into 2024. Is that correct? Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think my word would be self-doubt. I feel like a lot of the time, especially as I'm coming into these roles as a young person, and there's so much ageism, and sometimes sexism as a young woman. Um, I'm very confident in myself, but I feel like a little bit of self doubt often creeps in when you're constantly thriving to be the best you can, and you get a little bit of imposter syndrome, um especially, I'm in these rooms and I'm the youngest in the room, and there's like oftentimes a big age gap, if I'm not, of course, with like Stars of Giving, um or the NAACP, my professional work, my day job, well, all of them are my day job, but my professional my professional work, I do work in a corporate office, so it's like there is a bit of imposter syndrome that creeps in. But I had to learn, I had to teach myself, and I'm still teaching because it's always a journey. You have to be a forever student, that you're in these spaces for a reason. And you have to walk into these spaces, just being yourself. That's why I want to keep, putting in our heads. You have to be yourself. Um, and that, you would not be in this room if you weren't destined to be in a certain room. Um, and, just like there's opportunity for you to learn in these spaces, there's also opportunity for the people in these spaces to learn from you. So you have to, put yourself out there and, represent for who you are, because you should know who you are. You have to learn who you are. And as you grow, keep learning who you are, but don't let anyone tell you who you are, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's one thing I want to leave in 2023, a little bit of self-doubt, and that imposter syndrome. Because you get a little nervous, you get a little anxious, but that just is a sign that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You can't be complacent. You have to continually be growing. Um, and that's just a part of growing. Um, and I just think, that's what it's about.
Amen. 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 Definitely. Definitely. What advice would you give to the younger Makayla?
Um,
Um,
see, that's a good one. What advice would I give to my younger self? I think the biggest advice that I would give to my younger self would be, when it comes to leadership, it's not about, you know, who is the loudest or who is saying, "Hey, I'm a leader." I feel like there's a leader inside of all of us. You just have to learn how to awaken that leader. And, you know, I feel like it's okay to not tell people who already have preconceived notions of who you are. It's okay to not defend yourself. Um, Oftentimes when they try to tell you who you are, you want to defend yourself, or when, people say certain things about you, they want, they want to project certain things onto you. As humans, we want to defend ourselves. We want to say, "Hey, that's not true," or, "Hey, I'm a leader too," or, "This is what my leadership style looks like." You don't always have to have a response for people. Um, and I feel like the younger me will realize now that leadership is not, always, it's not black and white. Because there's people who come from different shapes and sizes, and you can give them all the same goal, and they all can achieve that goal successfully, with their own individual ways. So, I think younger Makayla would definitely learn now that you have to create your own path, and inspire others. And I think I've actually started to, conquer myself. And, I think the inner child in me is learning that still, that, people can tell you how to lead, but you have to know how to lead within yourself. And, you have to know that, what works for someone else is not going to work for you. Um, and yeah, that's definitely what younger Makayla can take from me now. And I'm blessed to learn that, even still being young, because I know there's going to be work to do 10, 20 years from now. But I'm glad that I can navigate my life more successfully, that I've learned that, um, you know, nothing is, black and white, and that we can achieve success in our own way. And that, because someone tells you you're not a leader does not make you not a leader. Um, and, you know, just because someone doesn't tell you, "Oh, hey, you helped me," does not mean you didn't. Because a lot of times, we have so many things going through our own heads and in our own lives. And I can account for so many times people have helped me, like you, and you had no clue that you drove my life in this particular way. Um, and you would not know, that was part of leadership. That was what leadership is about. And I feel like, that's just proves as a great example that, in leadership, it's not about, whether I'm telling you you're a leader or not. It's about just you being who you are. So a lot of people might not think that they're leaders, but they really are.
That's totally correct. It's about leadership. It's what is inside of you and knowing that you can do it. It's no way. It's no direct correct way to lead. It's about who you are and how you carry yourself and how you lead by actions and not also about words too, but how you carry yourself, in the manners you are. You never know who's watching you, know who's hearing you. But you just gotta be mindful of what you do and say, because leadership is not. It's not a one way thing to do. It's about how you do it and how it impacts others. And like I said, you impacted my life, and I truly thank you for what you said, because I never knew that you was part of that. And now look at you now, and God's blessing you. God has evolved to you to the next level just by just taking that stage, and not never know what things opened up for you and things that God bestowed upon you. So, and like I said,
Exactly.
yes, last question: where people can find more information about you and your nonprofit, and also about the Philadelphia NAACP for youth?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Levine? It cut out a little bit.
Oh, where people can find more information about you, your nonprofit, and the Philly NAACP for the youth.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can find more about the Philadelphia NAACP online at naacp.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Phila NAACPYC. So that's Phila NAACP Youth College. There it starts at Stars of Giving on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We do need to update our Facebook, but that's something we'll work on in the new year. And then you can also find us on Facebook with the NAACP at PNAACPYC. So, feel free to always contact me. My personal handle is at Skis Angel. That's SKIISANGEL. And I would love to, reach out and mentor other young people and invite them to be, a part of these initiatives taking place in Philadelphia and around, the tri-state area.
All right, Miss Makayla Myers, it's been an honor and privilege to reconnect with you today. This is not the end of us. We're definitely going to try to partner. We're definitely going to partner in 2024 with your initiative for the moms. Also, get you involved in schools I work at professionally, and also for Path to Greatness. So hopefully, this is not the end; it's just the beginning. And I thank you once again for being the final guest of our Roman Strong to Experience show for 2023. I want to thank you for just trusting me to interview you and just get you on board, just tell your story, your journey. And I thank God for you, that God has blessed you immensely with starting a nonprofit and also taking on a new role in January. And like I said, I'm going to continue to pray for you. You have my information now. We will stay in contact, make sure we stay connected for our programming, and just making sure that these youth, moms, and community is impacted for the greater in 2024. So I thank you so much. I enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
We will definitely reconnect and enjoy the rest of your day, and Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Remind everyone that was watching that in this new year, think about how you'll transform your own life by being authentic to yourself and ensuring that you're uplifting others in the process. And that's where the true leadership begins. Remember, leadership is a journey, not a destination, and that there's a leader inside of all of us that we just have to learn to not even learn. We just have to wake up, and we have to wake up the leader inside of all of us right now in this moment.
Amen. Amen. What a way to close it out. Wake up the inside of you. That's all. That's what we do. Let's shine ourselves. Let's reflect. Let's refresh and rejuvenate for the new year. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.